Welcome to episode 11 of the Bias Bettors podcast. We come to you live from across the nation. As always, our goal is to make you more money. For our YouTube following, you can see our record on the screen. We come in with a 130-96 record, a 57% clip so far in the college football and NFL season. And college basketball and NBA starting. We're going to have to start adding some basketball picks. I watched my beloved Iowa Hawkeyes last night, first game of the Ben McCullum era. And boys, we might have to start focusing on basketball. We're a basketball school now. This collective of six gamblers are six of the greatest sports betting minds you will ever find. And with that, let's start episode 11 with the Who's Hot Slide. Speaking of basketball, Carver Hawkeye Arena was absolutely packed to the gills last night. You couldn't find an empty seat if you wanted to. The Ben McCullum yellow tie, gold tie coaching shirts are selling out. Go find yours. They're giving out Hy-Vee Hawkeye ties. It is a brand new day. So, of course, we had to have our boy Ben McCullum and the Iowa basketball team on the Who's Hot Slide. Also, we're recording.
Of course, Iowa's lamest shirt ever. They couldn't make that any cooler, make the tie centered on the top.
I think our budget will increase after he brings us a couple national titles here in the next few years. Don't you think, BB Gun?
I think they'll finish top five Big Ten. That's a major win. The major win is not having to watch Fran McCaffrey for a full year.
I did to prepare for the pod, try and look up if Penn had played a basketball game. They don't open until Friday, so we're gonna have to track Fran's record all year long. I will say in a blowout win tonight for Butler, and I'm not going to dog the kid. He's only a freshman in college, but Jack McCaffrey was like the 16th guy off the Butler bench. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, he ended. They blew out like Southern Indiana, so he ended up playing like 15 minutes, but didn't
So
even make.
right, he ain't even going to play a regular season.
It doesn't look like it. And if Butler's going to be any good, I think you would hope that he probably doesn't play a lot. Although I will say, extremely excited about Iowa basketball, really pumped up. Another one of the basketball teams I'm following is DeVries's Indiana Hoosiers. There was a bit of a battle. We didn't know who Iowa was going to hire at head coach. Indiana looks like a complete wagon. His son may be like the fourth best player on that team. So they got some NIL dollars. Mark Cuban's throwing out some stuff, but Indiana basketball looks freaking good. And then the only other Who's Hot Slide, we'll talk about Sunday Night Football here in a second, but those 1990s Seahawk unis are just top notch. You've got to give credit where credit's due. Those things are fresh. And AG, give us a little bit for our YouTube following on why that last image is on our Who's Hot Slide tonight.
YouTube TV is hot. They are holding the line against ESPN, holding hard. I woke up Monday morning and I felt better than usual. I didn't have to hear the constant SEC propaganda all weekend long, screaming A. Just didn't have to deal with Pat McAfee. So YouTube TV, they're holding the line for us. If you're a YouTube TV subscriber, hold the line. They are hot right now. Let's hope that they can get ESPN back for all the greed that they have.
I got an even hotter than YouTube TV. You guys ever heard of the VC box?
I have now.
You guys, I'll save it for a different time in our group chat, but you get every game, every channel, everything. And it's a one-time payment of like $300 for this box. It's fantastic. I'll send you the link. Just anyways, way better. You don't have to deal with this YouTube TV and ABC, ESPN bullshit.
Until they just cut it all.
Until
the
China
300.
invades my house, but I'll be ready.
I wondered how in the world YouTube TV made the Who's Hot Slide, but what a just Excellent description there, AG. Thank you. Moving on to the Who's Cold slide, I'm going to pass it over to AG again. Who was cold this last week? Rams egg.
All right, we'll start from right to left. Rocco Becht, he is cold. He got absolutely lit up, depleted in the Cincinnati game, and he doesn't know who he is since. He's throwing hospital balls, literally. And then they make him pass again on the next play. So we should also put the offensive coordinator in the who's cold for the Cyclones down there in Ames. The season has got away from him.
Who was calling plays? Jerry Kill?
Next on the Who's Cold, the NFC East certified garbage. They're just getting blown out of the water, every one of them. Really even against not very good. I mean, the NFC West is obviously good, but the best NFC West team didn't even play an NFC East team. So, and they just got destroyed.
What are our thoughts on the Commanders?
Done.
This is not a Jaden Daniels problem, believe it or not. This is a general manager problem. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, any of these teams in recent memory that had a generational quarterback come out of the draft. What do? They start trading capital. They start collecting draft picks. They do it the right way. They got rid of Tyreek Hill as an example, and they build their teams as young as possible and as good as possible. What did the Commanders GM do this offseason? Oh, we've got a generational talent. Well, let's shovel as much money to 40-year-olds as humanly possible. He paid all these old washed up dudes to play defense. And I knew what was coming this season. Terrible slate from the NFL. Thanks a lot. Just a brutal schedule. And on top of that, we don't have an O-line that can protect our franchise guy, and our defense is old as dirt. When we were tied 2 weeks ago with Chiefs at halftime, I was in a state that would not allow me to gamble. I almost texted AG and I said, everything that's in my bank account, put it on the Chiefs second half, because our defense can't even put together a whole game. I know our audience doesn't care much about the Commanders, so I'm going to stop my rant, but just a terrible offseason and completely predictable regular season.
Sorry, but is Jaden Daniels a generational talent?
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he made the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, by the way, NFC East is
I think if you weigh 120 pounds and you're a quarterback in the NFL, this is going to happen every year because you have people just going to just come in and murder you.
There's a montage, and I watched it live in college. He took some of the biggest hits in college, and he somehow got up every time. So I agree, he's going to take some big hits, but it seems like unless you fucking break his elbow, he's going to be playing.
I think for the long run, we needed a year like this, but for them to just completely waste a year is frustrating. And come on, AG, don't dog in the NFC East. We're the reigning Super Bowl champs and both teams from the reigning NFC Championship. Come on.
They're just not that good.
And New York Giants better get it done within the next 3 years because their quarterback and running back are going to have CTE like year two.
And then the last on Who's Cold, your average Nebraska Cornhuskers fan on the left, watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, I suggest you go look at this AI image. I believe what we typed in was a fat loser Nebraska fan, and it did appear AI knows what it's doing. So I don't know.
It told me it said this doesn't abide by our laws. We can't make fun of body images. So I had to say large mad Nebraska fan holding a sign that says "I suck."
I think
it looks good.
I think you could have just typed in Nebraska Cornhusker fan and spit out the same thing.
That is your Who's Cold this week. Look forward to it next week.
Thank you, AG, and we're going to pass it off to Double G for the Who's Dead slide.
All right. Who's dead? We have Breece Hall after all of his good teammates, or even not as good teammates, were traded away this week. Toronto Blue Jays were hot until the end of Game 7. Just a brutal loss for those guys. Feel for them.
Also, side note, one of the best tweets of all time was like, I feel bad for Toronto fans because they go from almost like historical greatness with the Blue Jays upsetting the Dodgers to having to watch RJ Barrett for the next 5 months.
RJ Barrett plays for the Toronto Raptors, for
It
those
was
that don't know.
horrible to watch.
And then also we have anyone who has been to a Cyclone game in the past 12 months is also dead. And that's your Who's Dead slide this week.
Speaking of who's dead, Jack Trice Stadium. Dudley is not with us tonight, which we'll get to in a second why, but we may need to keep this on the who's dead slide. I have really locked into Twitter. I'm all in on certain fan bases, Iowa State football being one of them. An absolute bloodbath between fans because they can't get Jack Trice going. It's just a dead house. It's all these 60 to 7-year-olds that just sit on their hands. Nobody's yelling on third down. I was in Kinnick. I was in the trenches with Winkleman one game when South Dakota State false started damn near 20 times because Kinnick had that quarterback rattled. He now plays for us, and
Yeah.
there's a hush throughout the crowd this weekend for the game. But you've got to have fans more passionate than that, right, HJ? Oh my! We have an alum.
Here,
How
a
many
prime
football games
example.
did you? How many football games did you make it to and get rowdy for during your time?
I was usually sleeping by that halftime because I had a few too many beverages tailgating. I think I made it into one football game.
One game her whole 4 years. That's just not the type
And
of
they got a
commitment.
great tailgating lot. Like, how can you not have fans?
Our football team was horrendous when I was there.
Matt Campbell can't get any crowd noise on third down. It's going to be
I'm
like
also a bad fan to talk to because I hate standing for games and I hate yelling. And Connor and Paul witnessed that at Kinnick Stadium.
They're also, quote unquote, saving by not selling alcohol in the stadium. It's just a horrible business model.
Well, unless you're really rich, then you can buy alcohol. That's the only way
Oh,
you can
that's
do it.
right. That's right.
Segregation.
if they're building a Chili's in the parking lot, please. Nobody schedule a road game for St. John's to come into Ames if there's a Chili's in the parking lot. Rick Pitino's just going to have his way. Speaking of Rick Pitino and dogs, let's get to the David Bennett. This dog is barking for the week. AG, take it away.
Ruzek Financial, David Bennett, this dog is barking. For our YouTube followers, again, this is just on the podcast, so we don't tweet these out. But if you are following the podcast and have bet these games, your bank account is much higher than it was at the start of the season. As always, the running standings on the left, Ruzek Financial will be putting in a unit bet on the most points. So it's already up to 12 units. I don't know what Ryan's units are, but we better choose a good dog for him that week. Anyways, into this week, PG is choosing UConn, a home dog versus Duke,
No.
9.5.
That's not a basketball game. That's a football line right there.
That's a football game, boys. And then HJ is taking Iowa State plus 6.5 at TCU.
Brutal pick.
We'll see.
Everybody was shitting on my Wisconsin pick, and look what happened.
All right, relax.
Hopefully,
Okay,
Ames.
Connor, 3 points. Come on, that's almost not trying.
I don't know these teams. I'm just throwing a dart on a dartboard.
Winkleman, speaking about not knowing ball, is taking Colorado plus 5.5 at West Virginia. Colorado has got outscored by 97 points the last 2 weeks, so watch out for them to cover 5.5.
That's not an exaggeration.
Bias Better AG is taking Northwestern 14.5 at USC. That game is at 8 p.m. on Friday night, so that'll give AG a little something to watch while he's drinking his Bud Heavies this Friday. Double G, Pile.
I had a pick in. Someone erased it.
No, there's never a pick in.
Yes, there was. I had.
Are you on Ball State?
No, Marshall. They're playing James Madison.
Great pick. I thought that too because not a lot of flights going on.
Yeah, I have Marshall plus 13.5 against James Madison. Marshall's going to come out for the 11 o'clock ESPN2, which no one has anymore, home slate, and they're just going to get it done.
Beth Mullins game of the year.
He did have that on there. I thought that was your last week pick.
Oh, come on.
All right, so that's a Beth Mullins game of the year. Dog is barking, Grady. And then Dudley taking the midshipman of Navy plus 26.5 at Notre Dame. That is This dog is barking thanks to Ruzek Financial.
Thank you, Ruzek Financial. And getting into everyone's favorite segment for this week and this week only, it's an absolutely huge matchup of the week. We've got Rams Ag and the Iowa Hawkeyes hosting a top 10 team in the BB Guns Oregon Ducks. Let's start with Rams Ag. How do you feel about this game, Rams Ag?
So I think last week the game of the week was Arizona State versus Ames, and I got thrown into the fire to pick the game. And if anybody remembers, I said Arizona State is wearing gold pants with white tops. They had not lost with that, and that held true. I hope some people, like yours truly, did bet on that fact. Going into this week, Kirk Ferentz today in his press conference, Iowa is going with blackout uniforms.
Oh,
They have performed very well with the blackout uniforms in the years past. And if you look in the middle of the Oregon Duck for the people that are watching on YouTube, there could be chances of snow, sleet, sideways rain. Oregon, they have one really good D end, one not so good D end. I expect the Hawkeyes to run to the weak side of the formation plenty. Jennings Dunker road grading that backside. I the Sharps are on Oregon, but I really do like the Hawkeyes to cover 6.5 this weekend.
Do
I'll
the
send it.
Hawkeyes
I'll send it
have
to the
another
BB
plan
gun.
besides running?
they don't need it.
You act like that was their game plan is they got to run against Oregon, but that's what they do against every team they play.
I was just providing how they are going to do it.
He did say he clarified which side they're going to run it to.
Oh, they fucking go on both sides.
What an old lineman named Dunker's going to be absolutely bulldozing some guys over. What do you got, BB Gun?
I was looking at this one long and hard today, and a couple things. You mentioned earlier Mark Gronowski. He played outdoor stadium just like Kinnick in a lot of dog crap games, and he actually plays really well in snow. Historically, probably against worse teams, but this is the 3 versus 4 defense in the Big Ten. Iowa being the number 3, Oregon being the number 4. It started at 3.5 or 4.5, I think, and now it's to 6.5. Everything in my mind tells me the Hawkeyes cover, and I'm sprinkling some on money line. If there's snow on the ground too, the only thing that's holding me back from it is Dan Lanning is a really good coach, I think, and he's coming off a bye week. So they do have 2 weeks to prep for Iowa and watch 2 of Iowa's best games recently. That's my only thing holding me back. So I don't know for sure, but I think it's gonna be a close game. So 6.5 points, I'm taking Iowa.
Isn't Oregon's weather not great either?
Well, they
That's
played
just-
pretty good in the rain versus Wisconsin, a mighty Wisconsin team. They really showed out in the rain in that
It
contest.
rains a lot.
Here's the other thing too. Lot riding on this game. Oregon's number 9. If they lose, they can kiss college playoffs goodbye. If Iowa wins, they are still flirting with it went from 3% to 6 ticking up. So it's a big game for both teams. Playoff implications. Can't believe I'm saying that about Iowa, but yeah, I don't know.
Does
Back and forth
anybody
on it.
remember when Iowa got to the Big Ten championship a couple of years ago?
It's completely different. We finally have someone with a brain between their ears playing
Can I-
quarterback, and he's a winner. He's an
I say
absolute
one
winner.
thing just as probably the most in between Hawkeye fan on the pod. Traditionally, the Hawkeyes the last 5 years in this spot have been abysmal. So just keep that in mind.
Thank you, Double G.
They are riding high right now. And Oregon, like I said, 2 weeks to plan. Great defense. They could just stuff Iowa and shove it down their throat too. So I don't lean Iowa right now. I'm probably not gonna bet this game. So just as a heads up.
It'll either
I've
be
got
a field goal or a field goal either way, or Oregon
Or
will win by
21.
35.
Yeah.
Shout out Tim G. I've got $100 on Hawkeyes +7, and I'm betting against a guy worth at least 27 times more than me. So $100 to him is a lot less than $100 to me, but I'm going all in. All right, let's get to a few of your other games here. Bias better, CJ. You've got 4 college football games, including an FCS line, and then a couple NFL games. What do you like?
Ohio State's been absolutely fantastic all year covering every game. I do think at Purdue, it's not an easy place to play, regardless of how bad they are. I'll probably take Purdue 30 points to cover. Northwestern, I'm riding with, was it AG's dog?
Yep.
Yep, I'm going to take Northwestern to cover that as well. I think it'll be a lower scoring affair. Not going to bet Oregon, Iowa. SDSU just lost to
Indiana
Indiana
State.
State.
What
6
happened, Wake?
Oh, they're injury ridden, but it shouldn't have mattered. They're dead. They're done. And USD just beat a really good UND team. And I've seen SDSU play at USD many times. We don't do good there, so I'm going to take USD 6.5 and money line. That'll probably be my lock of the week. NFL, same thing. Raiders are absolute dog water, so I'm going to take Broncos 9.5. Giants at Bears. How the Bears covered last week was beyond me. I don't know about this game yet. I lean Bears, but pretty positive on the Broncos. So those are my picks this week.
I almost took Raiders +9.5 as my dog of the week. Broncos have the Chiefs next week. They could be looking ahead. I don't think they lose, but I don't know if they blow out the Raiders. All right, moving on to Bias Better Rams Ag. What do you like this week in your lines, AG?
All right, we'll go backwards this week. I'll start on Sunday, work my way backwards. Rams at 49ers, big divisional tilt there. I got the Rams at 3.5. It's moved up to 4. 49ers, Purdy's still in the hospital with a bruised toe. If he comes back, I really do like the Rams even more. Mac Jones absolutely slinging it lately.
Mac Jones looked like he got hit by a bus running off the field.
And he's still just slinging it. 49.5 is an
You should see his
incredible
arm.
an incredible over number with how the Rams defense has been playing. So I could throw a little on the under there. Jags, Texans, Jaguars are terrible. If anybody watched that game against the Raiders, and the Texans are getting better, take the Texans 1.5.
CJ
Then
Stroud be playing.
I don't. Davis Mills can do the same thing as Stroud. The offensive
Is
line's
Palestine playing?
terrible. Yeah, he hasn't got suspended yet this year, so it's probably coming. Washington at Wisconsin. No idea why that's only 10.5. Washington might score 44 themselves. Wisconsin is abysmal. We
I
already
like
touched.
that.
We already touched Oregon, Iowa. I don't know yet. I'll tweet it what I pick. So follow the Twitter for that one. And then SMU at BC over 55.5. Those are my picks for the week.
I love those college picks. Lock those things in, baby. This guy's getting hot. All right, before we move into anything else, we're just going to quick hit on our yearly bets against the herd and Colin Cowherd. Anything you'd like to say about Colin Cowherd, Bias Better Hannah?
I have this on when one of my sons is napping, so I try to get the snippets of what he's talking about, but I still don't love that he has the over-unders in one of his picks, but I mean, he's been pretty hot recently.
The coward.
Can't really dog him too much right now.
2 and 3 last week. He absolutely just shamelessly plugs like 5 teams all the time. It's pathetic.
The Bears are always in his.
And one of those teams is the Seattle Seahawks. And last week he had the audacity to pick Washington +3.5. What he possibly saw in that matchup for a guy that apparently knows ball. You could have come here all week and said this is the last time you'll get Washington this overvalued by Vegas. Throw everything you have on Seattle. And Cowherd was just, I just that one caught me off guard. It makes no
Yeah,
sense.
The one thing
it's
I do have to say about him is he always talks this about how good looking guys are. Has anybody noticed that? Like he always talks about Justin Herbert being like, man, when that guy just walks in a room, people think he's just this attractive
well,
guy. And I'm 6'5". I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? That's weird.
Good looking guys usually talk about other good looking guys.
Yeah, Cowherd. All right, moving on. We did go 3-2 last week. Cowherd only 2-3. Our winning percentage is much higher than his, and we're just going to keep waxing him. Moving on to our worst segment of the week, but we've got to give Double G his props. What do you like this week from the NBA, Double G?
Yeah, we're going to start a new gimmick with Who's That Playa for our YouTube following. I got a mid or easy level guy on the left of the screen and then an expert level on the right. Can
Yeah, you
anyone
got to call. You
pick?
got to call one of us out. You got to call one of us out. Who has to try?
Yeah, BB Gun's squinting, so I'm going to go BB Gun. Do you know either of Who's
I can
That
choose
Playa?
either or.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is
Do you
that
know either of them?
I think I know the
Is
left.
that a Sir Thompson or Raymond Thompson?
Uh, right or left?
Right, he's the right on the Pistons.
You're right. It's
Is that
Asar Thompson
Asar
is the right.
Thompson? Is that
Okay.
Tyrese Maxey on the left?
Nice job.
That's
And
left.
who's that player? Won today by the BB gun. Nice job.
So it's
Starting to get
Amen
frustrated.
Thompson's. Is it Amen Thompson's brother plays for the Pistons?
Yeah, twin brother.
Yeah,
Correct.
it looked like him, but I could tell that was a Pistons jersey. All right, good one, BB Gun.
I know my plays. I know my plays.
Starting to get frustrated with the NBA lines that don't come out early enough, but keep in mind, we never know who's going to be playing as opposed to who's not. So my only pick, there's only one game Thursday. I'm going to take the Clippers money line plus 102 at the Suns.
You do. So what's your NBA record this
We're
year?
we're 2-2 right now.
All right.
So looking to get back on the right side. Just
Just
an
to put,
abysmal performance by the 76ers last week to lose to the Celtics at home to start
I
the
just
play-in tournament.
I just don't get how you can bet on NBA teams because one night they're all NBA players. Like I just can't get a read on them like college.
well, I saw the Bulls would they have a 24-point comeback last night and made like a game winner. I mean, there's just these absurd comebacks. I think
Yeah.
you just wait till somebody starts getting killed. As long as it's not the Brooklyn Nets, they're probably going to make some threes and come back.
3-point variance is a big part of it. Early in the season, you got to stick to the better teams, which I thought was the 76ers, but I don't know if I'll be betting on them again. Anyway, into my other picks. AG already talked about Washington, Wisconsin. Evans taking Navy at Notre Dame. That's a big spread. I'm staying away from both those games. My picks this week are Bills. It's now minus 9.5 at the Dolphins. Look for them to come smash mouth, build off their big momentous win last
Raw
week.
dog it. They're going to raw dog it.
And then I'm also going to take the Steelers. Plus, it's now +3 on Sunday Night Football. I think the Steelers will have a nice crowd in LA against the Chargers, who are now missing both tackles. The Double G TD parlay, I'm going to take both Ohio State boys this week, Quentin Judkins and Travion Henderson, and that is plus 222.
Nice. Browns and Patriots for
I
his
didn't even know who
TD.
those guys were.
Oh, come on. You're not a fantasy guru like some of us. All right, BB Gun, moving into our weekly, just Joel Klatt. I mean, what does he have to show for himself? What do you got, BB Gun?
That's a segment that needs to die for him. He is battling this year, bruised and battered, and it ain't getting better either. So we didn't have a great week. We were 1-3. Historically, this is our bread and butter. So we're still basically at a 60% winning clip. Clad at 40, and it's just going down.
Yeah, I'm not gonna I usually stand for the Joel Klatt slander. I'm not gonna stand for it this week. I listened to a segment on Cowherd today. and he gave the Iowa Hawkeyes some freaking love. So
Yeah.
Joel Klatt absolutely
Okay,
knows
so then
ball.
vote for Oregon then,
Yeah.
if that's the case.
I
Yeah.
did.
Good point,
I
HJ. Good
Yeah.
point, HJ.
I noticed Joel Klatt definitely's got some burners because on his YouTube, the top comments when I was watching his show that he posts all these pics is, man, if Joel Klatt's only winning at a 40% clip, I better quit gambling because that guy knows football. It's like it's such an obvious burner comment. It's just a tale as old as time. So there's our absolute waxing of both Cowherd and Klatt on the year. I'm sure that will continue this week. Look on Twitter for our picks. Now, a little segment about Dudley. Dudley is having some bowel movement issues. So, for our YouTube following, I apologize because of this slide. We probably are going to get censored on YouTube this week. But Dudley could not make it just in fear that a catastrophe would happen. I guess he's already had a few this week. We did not want to
There's
see another one.
there's murmurs. It might be the 4 dogs he pounded on the on stream. What, 2 weeks ago or last week? 2 weeks ago.
He's never been the same since he ate those gas station hot dogs. I will say though,
Quarter pounders.
the guy can pick Big 12 football games. So regardless of how he's doing, we want his picks for our following. He's all in on TCU to cover. He thinks Rocco Becht has completely lost it. He's on TCU to cover at home against Iowa State. And then this one keeps going up. I wanted to ask Dudley about this one. We might need to get his feedback on Twitter. Texas Tech is now a 10-point favorite against an undefeated BYU team. So he
10 and
likes
a half.
Texas Tech at 8.5. Now it's up even to 10.5. And then he did have a couple of college basketball lines. He is all over early season college basketball. He's already 4-2 in college b-ball. He likes Iowa State to cover 31.5 against Grambling State, and he likes UNC money line against the Kansas Jayhawks. So if you've been following Dudley, you like his picks. You've made a bunch of money off his picks. We still had to get his picks out here, but the man is just dealing with a 2-week hot dog catastrophe. Moving on to Bias Better HJ. You've got a lot of action going on this week. What do you like, HJ?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stick with the bread and butter. I'm going Indiana minus 14.5 again. I know the sharp bettors are on that as well. They also kind of like the under just because Penn State offense is atrocious right now. And so yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Indiana. I think that they will roll Penn State. The only issue is that it's at Penn State is the only thing holding me back. But shout out to my dad, Jay. He's in Indiana right now. He's gonna pick me up and Colton and Andy some IU gear because we're going in all on them. And then I'm gonna go with the Vikings plus 4.5 against the Ravens. I think the Vikings continue to stay hot. What do you got to say about that?
Hey, we got to give JJ McCarthy a little bit of props.
You got to give McCarthy props.
He had some good balls last weekend. Yeah.
Great back shoulder balls. The Ravens, though, it's every year. If they start off bad, they will make the playoff run. They're in the heart of the playoff run. They're winning every game.
Defense is not as
strong. It don't matter. Big Truz, Lamar Jackson is back.
They can still win and not cover.
If I make 100 on my Hawkeyes on Saturday, I'm rolling that onto the Ravens on Sunday. That's going to be an absolute.
It's at Minnesota. Has anybody been in there? Has anybody heard the noise in there?
It ain't no Jack Trice.
Shellacking.
But I'm also going to add one more to that. I'm going to do the Vikings game as the over because the Vikings have covered the over in the last 6 of 7 games, and the Ravens have covered the over in the last 5 of 6 games.
Call me crazy, too. Just as an outsider looking in, I'm going to put 1 unit on Derrick Henry 3+ touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, I'll see that bet slip.
I will.
And then I'm going to take New England, Tampa Bay over 48.5 points. I just solely go off of if it's under 49 points. I usually take it just because I like betting the over. The day you guys see me bet on the under will be, I don't know what. But I also, who has New England?
Nobody.
Okay, I wanted to get somebody's opinion on that because Tampa Bay's favored by 2.5, and they still are missing Chris Godwin. They're still missing Bucky, and New England's been hot. They won 6 in a row. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. New England's missing Stevenson possibly too as their running back, but Bucks are off a bye, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Bucks there.
All right, talk about your parlay in college b-ball. We're running low on time.
I've got up to about 200 for my quest to 1,000. I lost it twice, so
Shockingly, she hasn't made it to 1,000 yet, but
I'm gonna do it. Last night I had a parlay on just a bunch of random shit. I did Purdue minus 35.5. I did the Sabres for the hockey puck line plus 1.5. I did Steph
You ain't ever
Curry
getting to 1,000 if you're betting that.
how many
I
how many legs did you have?
4 plus 725. Then I did Steph Curry 25
We don't
points.
need to know every leg. You did have Ben McCollum to cover, though. That was a
All
lot.
right,
yeah,
so
that was
And
a
last-
lot, baby.
Purdue was the only one that screwed me, so I'm gonna keep doing it though. Oh, and Seahawks minus 6.5, even though I'm wearing my Cardinal shirt.
All right, we'll go through mine quickly. Like, I don't have it in my picks because it's just an absolute whale. Throw your mortgage on it. The Ravens are covering 4.5 at the Vikings on Sunday. I like UCLA. Nebraska lost their quarterback, and they're just a terrible ball club. That line is way too small. Take UCLA at home. Super late game for Nebraska. I like UCLA to cover that. Eagles, Packers. I can't do it with this Packers squad. They might win by a point. They might win on a last second field goal, but I think Eagles are the play there. And then my Commanders, it's done. Sell the farm, get rid of the team. Dan Quinn lost the
Lions
locker
win
room.
by 45.
Yeah, the Lions are going to put up at least 57. And keep in mind, this is a revenge game. The Commanders knocked the Lions out of the playoffs last year. The Lions are absolutely going to go to work. And then to end tonight's podcast, just a reminder for our YouTube following and for our bias bettors, the basketball seasons are starting up. All of us have 4 to 6 teams. Here are I've been getting texted every day by Double G. Who are my teams? I can't remember who I drafted. I had no plan going into the draft, and so I just have no idea who I picked.
I got no idea because I'm sleeping at 7:30.
I couldn't remember Florida. I knew I had 6 teams. Just could not remember Florida.
Keep in mind, this guy submitted a pick for Duke a couple weeks ago. Duke is clearly a bias better HJ team. I can't even knock you. I forgot I picked UCLA. I would have.
Okay.
I wish I would have watched that game earlier in the week because Nick Cronin.
I took Duke.
Yeah, you did. At the very end, you took Duke. I re-listened to the pod. Nick Cronin went off on his team. It was just an all-time rant. It's got me all in on the UCLA Bruins. So for our YouTube following, here's our basketball teams. We're not going to get quite into it till football season's over, but I just wanted a quick reminder. Thank you, everyone, to listening to episode 11. Make sure to like and subscribe. Cheer for the Hawkeyes on Friday night in b-ball and Saturday in football. Let's go, boys. Thanks so much.